Okay, now we're going to look at one specific child, the way that we would look at the child in a data meeting. And so explain to us what's the best way to discuss a child or identify needs and what do we do about it.
Okay, so what's really neat about the iStation testing is that sometimes it finds kidlets that you weren't expecting to be struggling. They might be phenomenal readers in your class. In other words, their CBMs are up high enough that you've never really had a concern, but then you go and look at spelling, or in 4th grade, it's called word analysis, or in 1st grade in kindergarten, it could be phonemic awareness, and you go and look at those specific skills that are being tested, and you come to find that their spelling scores keep dipping. They're really low, but they're really fantastic readers. So you're wondering what's going on. Well, that's what's so great about this program, is that it actually does mean something if your spelling, word analysis, or phonemic awareness just keeps going down, and they're great readers. I've come to find out when I was in 3rd grade, I had, and so did Mrs. Burt, have a couple of children that were extreme high readers, but their spelling was going down, and so we decided to PSI them. And when we did, we found holes. They could definitely read, but to spell a word, they didn't know the rules. And that's what's so great about 95% is that it fills those rules. It teaches the kids rules so that when they go to multisyllabic, when they go to the bigger words, they can actually break them apart because they know the rules. So, for example, what I would do is after I had printed this report, I would start at the top and I would go across. And before, you would have seen Tier 1, Tier 1, Tier 1, and you would have probably thought, oh, this child's good to go because they're in Tier 1. But what's great about digging a little deeper and looking at the percentile ranking is you actually come to find out that they're not doing so great. So, for example, this kidlet in August started at the 67th percentile. Then in September, they went to the 59th. October, the 56th.
Actually going down.
They're going down. November, there wasn't any testing. December, the 47th. January, the 45th. And yes, they are still in Tier 1.
Wow.
But I would be wondering what's going on. That's a flag to me. So he probably has not been PSI'd. So that would be my next step. I would go and give him a PSI and find out if there's holes. And if there isn't, then obviously I need to look at something else. Maybe this little person has decided to not really try their best. Maybe they are having struggles at home and you're seeing it in their scores. There could be many reasons why this child is going down, but to start with at least the academic side and maybe the spelling side of things and knowing what kind of skills they are missing, I would go to the PSI first. That would be my go-to. So this is where you should be looking to guide who you should be testing. And it should happen every month. You should use this data every month to figure out who you should be PSIing and who is doing really well. So maybe then you should look at their PSI and say, oh, well, they're doing phenomenally well. We should go to the next skill because they're ready for it. Even if they're getting a 7 or an 8 on the PSI for the skill that is below that, it's time to move on because they're doing really well. They're getting it because they're applying it. This is an application piece that you can see. So that's what I would do.
Okay. Anything else? Final thoughts?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.